Are you interested in teaching your children some solid values that shine through each chapter? Like hard work, respect, and having fun? Then join me, because it's story time with Gilbert-Ian. Hello amigos and flamingos. Today we are going to have fun with another amazing book. It's The Boxcar Children by Gertrude Chandler Warner. First and foremost, let's talk a little bit about the author. Who is, or who was, Gertrude Chandler Warner? Gertrude Chandler Warner, it's a tongue twister, was born in 1890 in Putnam, Connecticut, where she taught school and wrote The Boxcar Children. Gertrude got the idea to write a kid's book when she was teaching first grade. She hadn't planned on becoming a teacher, but they needed teachers during the war and she agreed to help. What war? Well, the Civil War. While teaching, she learned that kids needed easy-to-read books that were fun to read and about kids. She had the idea for The Boxcar Children as she grew up next to train tracks and always dreamed about adventure on the trains. How's that for a little bit of information on Miss Gertrude Chandler Warner? Now let's get on with our book. So today's book is a little different. The Boxcar Children is a great series for beginning chapter book readers. Though not deep, these plot-driven mysteries hold the reader's interest. Although not complex, the characters are appealing and quite realistic. And relatable. Let's meet our characters, shall we? We have Henry, who is 14, Jessie, who is 12, Violet, who is 10, and Benny, who is about 5 years old. All of them are orphaned and running away from a grandfather they have never met, but believe to be cruel. In order to escape being found, they decide to live on their own in a boxcar that has been abandoned in the woods somewhere. And there they have fun adventures, living on their own, until they get adopted by a kind grandfather who they shouldn't have run away from in the first place. But let's get into our story. The Boxcar Children by Gertrude Chandler Warner. I love this book because it was written a very long time ago. It's from another era. We're talking about the late 1800s. And I mean, if you look at the cover of the book, they've modernized it. But the story itself is quite universal and timeless. And that is why I feel like it still applies today. The Four Hungry Children. One warm night, 4 children stood in front of a bakery. No one knew them. No one knew where they had come from. The baker's wife saw them first as they stood looking in at the window of her store. The little boy was looking at the cakes. The big boy was looking at the loaves of bread. And the 2 girls were looking at the cookies. Now the baker's wife did not like children. She did not like boys at all. So she came to the front of the bakery and listened, looking very cross. "The cake is good, Jessie," the little boy said. He was about 5 years old. "Yes, Benny," said the big girl, "but bread is better for you, isn't it, Henry?" "Oh yes," said Henry. "We must have some bread, and cake is not good for Benny and Violet." "I like bread best anyway," said Violet. She was about 10 years old. She had pretty brown hair and brown eyes. "That is just like you, Violet," said Henry, smiling at her. "Let's go into the bakery. Maybe they will let us stay here for the night." The baker's wife looked at them as they came in. "I want 3 loaves of bread, please," said Jessie. She smiled politely at the woman, but the woman did not smile. She looked at Henry as he put his hand in his pocket for the money. She looked cross, but she sold him the bread. Jessie was looking around too. She saw a long red bench under each window of the bakery. The benches had flat red pillows on them. "Will you let us stay here for the night?" Jessie asked. "We could sleep on those benches and tomorrow we would help you with the dishes and do things for you." Now the woman liked this. She did not like to wash dishes very well. She would like to have a big boy to help her with her work. "Where are your father and mother?" she asked. "They are dead," said Henry. "We have a grandfather in Greenfield, but we don't like him," said Benny. Jessie put her hand over the little boy's mouth before he could say more. "Oh, Benny, keep still," she said. "Why don't you like your grandfather?" asked the woman. "He is our father's father, and he didn't like our mother," said Henry, "so we don't think he would like us. We are afraid he would be mean to us." "Did you ever see him?" asked the woman. "He never came to see us," said Henry. "He doesn't like us at all." "Where did you live before you came here?" asked the woman, but none of the 4 children would tell her. "We'll get along all right," said Jessie. "We want to stay here for only one night." "You may stay here tonight," said the woman at last, "and tomorrow we'll see what we can do." Henry thanked her politely. "We are all pretty tired and hungry," he said. The children sat down on the floor. Henry cut one of the loaves of bread into 4 pieces with his knife, and the children began to eat. "Delicious," said Henry. "Well, I never," said the woman. She went into the next room and shut the door. What? What just happened there? They said delicious and she got offended and walked out of the room and slammed the door. That is so strange. "I'm glad she's gone," remarked Benny, eating. "She doesn't like us." Well, I'm glad she's gone too, Benny. "Shh, Benny," said Jessie. "She is good to let us sleep here." After supper, the children lay down on the red benches, and Violet and Benny soon went to sleep. But Jessie and Henry could hear the woman talking to the baker. She said, "I'll keep the 3 older children. They can help me. But the little boy must go to the children's home. He is too little. I cannot take care of him." The baker answered, "Very well. Tomorrow I'll take the little boy to the children's home. We'll keep the others for a while, but we must make them tell us who their grandfather is." Jessie and Henry waited until the baker and his wife had gone to bed. Then they sat up in the dark. "Oh, Henry," whispered Jessie, "let's run away from here." "Yes, indeed," said Henry. "We'll never let Benny go to the children's home. Never, never. We must be far away by morning or they will find us. But we must not leave any of our things here." Jessie sat still thinking. "Our clothes and a cake of soap and towels are in the big laundry bag," she said. "Violet has her little work bag, and we have 2 loaves of bread left. Have you your knife and the money?" "Yes," said Henry. "I have almost $4. "We must carry Benny," said Jessie. "He will cry if we wake him up, but I'll wake Violet." "Shh, Violet, come. We're going to run away again. If we don't run away, the baker will take Benny to a children's home in the morning." The little girl woke up at once. She sat up and rolled off the bench. She did not make any noise. "What shall I do?" she whispered softly. "Carry this," said Jessie. She gave her the work bag. Jessie put the 2 loaves of bread into the laundry bag, and then she looked around the room. "All right," she said to Henry. "Take Benny now." Henry took Benny in his arms and carried him to the door of the bakery. Jessie took the laundry bag and opened the door very softly. All the children went out quietly. They did not say a word. Everything was very quiet. So the 4 children went down the street. Wow. If that doesn't captivate you and get your imagination going, you're out of luck. This is an excellent story. I hope you read it. I hope you read it. I highly recommend it. Overall, this is a wonderful read-aloud book for children. The characters' emotions and actions were always clearly stated, and the story constantly moved in imaginative ways. By reading the series, your kids will learn solid values that shine through each novel: hard work, respect, and having fun. I hope you have enjoyed our 3rd and final reading for the month of June. Please stay tuned for our July reading list. It's coming very soon. Till then, be kind to one another, read lots of books, and virtual hugs for you all. Bye!